The Scene projects are brought to you by these fine sponsors: Cliff Avenue Upholstery and Restoration, Chevy Girl Advertising and Booking, Sunny Radio, and SiouxFallsPodcast.com. Welcome into a very exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Starts, and with me today is Caleb Hoover. How you doing, Caleb?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Well, I told you before we started, if I'm going to get to know you, we might as well hit record and let everybody get to know you. So why don't we start there? We know who you are, what it is that you do. Let's find out.
Yeah, so I'm the founder of the Video Lab. I've actually been doing video production since about 2012, a little bit more traditional video production. But just recently, I kind of transformed that into the Video Lab, which is it's kind of more encompassing of video content of like not only production, but also some education, because a lot of people are trying to make videos on their own, right? And so just a little bit more education on how to make those videos that you make on your own, make them a little bit better. So there's workshops, things like that. I'm working on online community. There's like little different courses, things like that. But then also a big part of it is a video studio. And in the video studio, it's kind of a content creator studio where basically, you can come in and rent it out for however long and record as much content as you can within that time frame. So it's also some membership opportunities as well with like video podcasts, product videos, all that type of stuff. So everything's around video.
Yeah. So not to cut you off, but while I have the idea, so you're kind of like, you have a space that people can use, and that's with the equipment as well, and people to run it, or
Yeah, so there's a couple different options. You can actually rent out the shell. So like other production teams will come in and rent out the shell, and with that,
like a studio or something, and just having just the space.
It's kind of a little bit more like a traditional video studio concept, where you just come in, bring your own cameras, audio gear. Like I include the lights in mine because they're set up anyway. But basically you can rent the shell. But then also there's an option for people that don't have all that gear, but are looking to make just a little bit quicker, low barrier to entry video content, where I have packages where you have like one camera and you can come and do a talking head video in here for like an hour, and record as much content as you want with the lights set up and audio gear. But then also some video podcast sets where you can choose from either couch and chairs or sit around a table and have up to 4 people on your video podcast and 3 cameras and, record your episodes. The other option for people is a video product set, where basically you have a top-down camera and you can like unbox your product or kind of talk about its features, but then you also have a camera that's a talking head camera. So a few different options within the studio, but it's
right,
basically
and without making you run through your whole menu, just trying to get a general idea. So what you're kind of offering is a little bit more cost-effective way for people who want to be content creators, because that's everyone in business now. If you're listening to this and you have a business, you are a content creator. You need to be making some of this content, but not everybody can go out and buy the thousands of dollars worth of equipment or have a really nice space set up all the time. I think it's great. That's awesome. So you kind of have some different kind of membership options for people to make it cost effective. You have the professional space, you have the professional know-how. It's all kind of set up, walk in, and for a fee, you can get all the content done that you can. And then I'm sure 100%. On the backside of that, you have production and things that you can provide, and that's, going up in levels, obviously. But starting from the very basic, here is a space, there's a cost associated with that, and then moving through that all the way through full-blown production of a documentary.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you need a brand story, I can do that. Website videos, whatever. So a big thing now is like social media content, kind of like organic vertical content. So that's something you need. Basically, I can do that for you, whether that's on site or in studio. So
right. Well,
bunch of different
and
options.
something really cool that you're doing is that you're also kind of you're feeding your community by doing like the how-tos and doing the hey, just like come in and kind of almost let me do it for you. If you can come in with a general idea, we'll kind of show you how to do this stuff. We'll do an online workshop. Like that's so important for the community because so many of these business owners, and especially out here in such a small area, they're starting from the basement. You're not even on the ground floor yet, you know?
Yeah.
Some people are starting from like, what's a short? You know, what's a reel? And it's like, okay, well, instead of just crushing you with, you know, all of this stuff that you don't need, here, we can deliver that for you. Or if, you know, you want to learn it all, here's the avenue to walk you through all the steps.
And we have one of the most powerful content tools just in our pockets with our phones. And so, you know, that's a big part of it is like, yes, we're making videos on our phones, but how do we make them better, right? And so that's part of the education piece is like you might not be able to afford full-on $20,000 productions, right? But here you have this tool in your pocket and you have the ability to create some great content that could, you know, potentially lead to more sales. So that's kind of where I'm going with some of that.
Yeah, it's incredible. So I really love that. And that's where I kind of found you. I saw, I think, your stuff first on LinkedIn,
Right on.
working into that community. I'm a member of Startup. I'm a member of the Greater Sioux Falls Chamber. I live well outside of the city. I'm out here in Tyndall, which is, you know, the middle of the cornfields. And and so I knew I had to be members of those communities, right? And like having a studio space up there is so valuable to me specifically, like having just a space to be at Startup is worth the membership, right? So now you're telling me I can have another membership and have this beautiful space. So when I need to do interviews in Sioux Falls that I want the video, a lot of ours are audio just because this is easy, right? I have a nice slick little unit I can hook up to my broadcast microphone and roll. So when somebody's calling, you know, in the middle of the afternoon and be like, hey man, let's hit record, right? That's nice. But there's other ones where this podcast and what we're doing is growing, right? So we're starting to feature more prominent people that it's like, man, you know, Allie Gabriel is someone who's kind of a forward face of the Canaries, you know, baseball team in town. She's a very public figure. Like you hate to waste that opportunity to not do a video. You know what I mean? To not be in the same room with each other and do that. So that's kind of first on your list of us working together because I already got that one kind of penned in as something I really want to do. I just love having interesting conversations, Caleb. I mean, I love this podcast hosting thing that I've completely fallen into. The production side is something that, you know, personally, I'm not good at. I don't like doing it. I'm doing all the editing and everything on the backside out of necessity only. The plans to grow this thing. Yeah, the plans to grow this so that we can hire Caleb Hoover. That's our whole production team, right? And that's where I see the future of us working together. And I'm not afraid to say that in the first time meeting you. I've already seen your quality of work. We're all kind of rising to the top of the Sioux Falls, you know, art scene and everything. And we are the media. You know, everybody just woke up to the fact that podcasts are king. I've been a big listener for the last 6 years. You know, Rogan and all of these things, right? And then branching off and into all these different. So like I said, falling into a podcast, it was just natural. I was like, I know what these are supposed to sound like. I know what the content's supposed to be and what people are, you know, and it's just a no BS. People are sick of the radio and all those things. We want no BS content. Yeah.
Well, then you add the video aspect and it becomes one of the most diverse pieces of content that you can, versatile pieces of content that you can produce, because not only do you have then that long form conversation, which is high value, high impact type of content, but then you can break that into shorts, right? Then you can make reels out of that and get like 20 some reels out of that long form piece of content, depending on how long your video podcast
I am living
is, right?
it. I am living it right now. So like this month, Facebook sent me a check for $60, right? And it ain't a lot of money, but that is 10 times more than they have ever sent me in a month. And it's like, well, what are we doing differently? And it's like, well, you've been putting out a bunch of the podcasts have been regular. Everything is hitting now. People are listening longer to these things just on that one platform. And it was like, okay, yeah, we need to start chopping all this stuff up. And I have 90 some episodes to go back and start working through, and not all of them are video, but we have graphics to everything. We can make our own graphics. We can make everything video. And I just archived you an entire years of content. So we're already talking to people about, hey, what can I pay you to go back and start going through these old ones and chopping them up? Like if they're going to pay us on these ones and we're barely trying right now, let's start learning how to do that. So exactly what you're talking about, we're just hitting and coming together at the perfect time, I think, for both of our companies. I mean, I just had to wait for you to get back in the United States.
Yeah, I was in Spain for a little while there, so it was nice to get away for sure. But it's good to get back and kick off 2025 with some getting people in the studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be one of them for sure. And I'd like to bring a lot more people. Yeah. We haven't even talked business or anything, and we could end the podcast episode kind of right there as a good introduction to everything. Caleb, go ahead and plug kind of the Video Lab. Make sure people know where you're at online and where they can find you.
Yeah. So, just go to the videolab.online is the website. You can check out, all the information there. I'm on LinkedIn, like you said. I'm on Instagram, the videolab.online. I also have a personal YouTube channel, which is it's close to 30,000 subscribers, where I just talk about cameras I use and everything. So if you're interested in cameras, then that'd be a good place to find me. It's just my name, Caleb Hoover. Going back to the Video Lab, there's also the videolab.online YouTube channel, where I have some of my past video podcasts there. And it's a show, basically high value conversations with experts in video marketing, video content, and video platforms. And I'm currently recording new episodes that will be launching in 2025. So make sure you check those out there, the Video Lab online YouTube channel. But other than that, I'm in the studio making videos, making a lot of my own content, making a lot of content for other people. So
that's just awesome, Caleb. Well, I really appreciate your time today, and I really appreciate you being a part of the scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for listening. Remember to follow The Scene Projects on all your social media channels and get even more content at thesceneprojects.com.